you know. So I see here she's really trying to get out of not paying him. Queen of, she's gonna, wow, 6 of water to 5. She's gonna say that she believes that they're soulmates, and she's going to try to woo. She's just really good at wooing people and manipulating people and making people feel like, oh, a certain way in order to get what she wants. And then after that, she's like, whatever, you're next. Hi everyone, welcome back to No Light Time. My name is Holly, excuse me, just moving my microphone. So grateful to have you all. So if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Please like the video if you like my content. Let's help the channel grow. I'm really grateful to be doing this. I love you all. I'm so grateful that you're watching. Okay, so let's get into this. I apologize for last week. I did have sound issues. I had my AC on, my air conditioning on, and it was affecting the sound. It's really hot where I live, so I'm going to have it off for when I do the readings. So just letting you know that it's a little hot, that's why I did that, and so forth. Okay, so let's get into this reading. Really grateful to have you all. I'm doing 3 in 1. I'm going to start off with Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. What's going on, because there have been recent developments. I'm also going to do Harry Styles update and a Zayn update, especially because Zayn just did a podcast talking about what I predicted, and I want to expand on that. Okay, so let's get into this. I'm really excited to be doing this. So first, pull some cards. I'm using the Good Tarot. I love this tarot deck. It's by Colette Baron Reed, and it looks like this. Actually, I'm just going to show you. I do have a tarot store if you want to check it out. The link is in my description. Okay, so when I was shuffling the cards, and it's funny because now I'm having difficulty speaking. I'm getting like quite the energy, I feel like quite anxious. And I'm picking up her energy, very anxious, very like having trouble speaking. I honestly, and by her I mean Amber Heard, I really feel bad for her daughter. I really wish, it's really horrible that, and I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, the fact that anybody can have children and nothing protects that child from any parental abuse that they go through. I have to spell it out because of the YouTube guidelines. It's very unfortunate, and I really feel like this child is going to one day tell us the story, the world, the story of growing up with this woman, having this woman raise her, and it's going to be awful, absolutely awful. It kind of reminds me of Kate, John and Kate plus 8, that kind of energy, kind of narcissistic mothers. So as I was pulling, and I was very accurate when I said about her moving to Europe. I saw Paris, but I also saw Spain. So I think after Spain, she would move to Paris. I think something's going to happen in Spain. But I definitely saw her moving to Europe. I saw a man like luring her to France. I still think that's going to happen. So let's just watch it unfold. But I did see recently that Johnny Depp is considering suing Elon Musk. I just saw it on a headline when I was scrolling Instagram, so I just decided, let me see more about this energy. So with Queen of Water, this deck uses different elements. So instead of cups, I use water. Instead of pentacles, I use earth. Instead of wands, I use fire. And instead of swords, I use air. So with Queen of Water, 7 of earth, messenger of fire, I get very strongly that there's this sense of well, I still feel the anxiety. she's almost running. Honestly, I think Johnny is still expecting Amber to be a better person, and I think I think he's having trouble moving on from the fact that she was who she was. He can't accept that she was so cruel to him. And I understand, I've been through, I wouldn't say similar circumstance, but I've been in a situation where I had to accept reality. That's part of grieving. You have to accept that something is no longer the way that it was. And he's really having difficulty accepting that. And I think that's when he kind of turns to substances to relieve himself of feeling the dismay of what no longer was. So, what no longer is, excuse me. So, Page of Earth, I see she's going to pay him some of the money. I don't see her paying all of it. And I think he's gotten a lot of advice, like, do this, do that, but he's like in like a state of shock. I think he has been in a state of shock about the situation, about that she had allegations about him. He just couldn't believe somebody could be so mean. And I find it very interesting because, I say this a lot. I used to live in LA. I've dated two famous people, and I saw very quickly that people are very piranhas. I would say I've been mostly sober in the past 10 years, so I haven't really, when you have substance issues, it kind of blocks out some of your intuition, and it blocks out your sense of clarity on people. So I think some of his drinking has an effect on him being able to read people very clearly. I wouldn't be surprised, and I actually see this, people were like ripping him off financially, and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised. And I think I vaguely remember somebody saying that before, now that I just said that out loud. I vaguely remember somebody saying that. I don't know if that's true, but I see energetically people have ripped him off financially before. People have taken advantage of him. He has a big issue setting boundaries, and a lot of air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. Thank goodness I'm a Sun in Aquarius, but I have a lot of Earth in my chart. I don't have any problem setting boundaries. I'd rather be alone than have people in my life that are using me, mistreating me. I don't believe in that kind of life. I'm very clear, like if I feel something off, especially the older I get, if I feel something off, I cut it off, tell that person I'm nothing to do with them. I'm very firm with that. I think it comes a lot from my Earth and my charts, but he doesn't have that. He has a lot of self-doubt, which is very unfortunate. A lot of self-doubt, and I really hope, I saw that he was working through some of his issues. I hope he works through this too. But I think his upbringing taught him to doubt himself a lot. And I can see it very clearly. He has a lot of boundary issues, even with friendships and so forth. There's a lot of people that take advantage of him. And it's sad to be so much older and people are still taking advantage of you. So with 10 of at the bottom of the deck, I see this kind of, she's looking to get out of paying him. Oh my gosh. She's looking to get out of paying him, and she might have somebody else. I did pick this up before. She's going to have somebody else do it for her. And that person could be Elon Musk. I want to see the connection Elon has to this story. I know that they dated. I do believe she knows who the father of the child is. She's just not making it public. It will become public when the child is about 10. I don't like talking about children, so I'm going to stop it there. But she definitely has like a sugar daddy type of person in her life. And I've said this before. I think she's got a few actually. It's very unfortunate. I was watching Dennis Jacobson do an interview. I ended up watching, and I don't like this guy, the host of Behind the Velvet Rope. I don't know, I'm talking about him. But I saw this interview, it came on my YouTube, where she was speaking badly about Amber Heard. She said, Janice Dickinson said Amber Heard looked like a hag. And I was like, have you looked in the mirror? Janice Dickinson is, in my opinion, definitely the black calling the kettle, pot calling the kettle black. So I was like shocked. I don't think Amber Heard is a hag, but I'm not a fan of how she treated Johnny Depp, and it's wearing her down, you know. I'm not a fan of Janice Dickinson, but anyways, I'm not going to talk about it anymore because she's not a part of this reading. But what I do really see very strongly is that she's going to continue. You know, there's just women like that they are used to the easy way out. They can buy themselves out of things. They can get somebody else to buy them out of things. And they're just not, and it's interesting. Well, Taurus, Sun and Taurus, I do know some Sun and Taurus who are like that. That they love a luxurious lifestyle, and sometimes somebody else has to pay for it. You know, I was just thinking, I was like, Taurus, and I was like, nope. I know a lot of female Taurus who definitely have sugar daddies, and I'm not judging them. I'm just like being reminded of, and they will often climb the ladder by physically doing what they need to do, if you know what I'm talking about. So with the Sun, King of Air, and 6 of Fire, I get here very strongly that he doesn't want to have to be the bad person. He doesn't want to have to, you know, set boundaries. You know, Geminis really, Sun and Geminis, I've seen struggle with that. That's why a lot of them turn to drinking. They turn to substances. I mean, other reasons too. But they feel bad. They have this, like, people often take advantage of them, and then they feel bad about it. But instead of telling the person, they'd rather just harm themselves. And it's very, very sad. Very, very sad. If you also have strong Gemini placements, your moon, your rising, your Mercury, sometimes you might find that you, instead of telling somebody that they hurt you, you'd rather just keep it inside, you know? And I think that's why sometimes they can come across two-faced, because they think they're over it and then they're not, you know? They're like constantly in a mind battle with how they feel, you know? So I see here, she's really trying to get out and not paying him. Queen of, she's gonna, 6 of Water, 2, 5. She's gonna say that she believes that they're soulmates, and she's going to try to woo. She's just really good at wooing people and manipulating people and making people feel like, oh, a certain way in order to get what she wants. And then after that, she's like, whatever, you're next. Like, I'm done with you, you know? So I see that happening. With them. So yeah, that's what I have for you all. Let's move on to the next one. So I see her still, for the next 2 years, I just want to clarify. The next 2 years, I still see Amber Heard trying to get out of paying him back, or paying him the money that he has been owed. The courts have determined. Okay, so I'm going to move on to Harry Styles, your guys, all of your favorite person. Well, not all of you, but a lot of your favorite person. I must say, he is very charming. I did say in one of my predictions, I saw him doing like fashion, moving back to England, stuff, that kind of stuff. And when I say moving back, I mean spending majority of the time. I know recently I said that Tom is going to move back to England too. I don't mean, I think a lot of them spent majority, like half and half. I mean that, like, living half in LA, half in England. And I see both him and Harry moving mostly full time to the UK. So let's see with Harry what's going to happen. Okay, so the universe just, okay, so I'm using the Moonchild Tarot, really lovely deck. Yeah, let's get into it. By the way, if you haven't already seen my video on reading tarot, I'm doing half of the video will be up for the public. The second half will be up only for members. Adding a new membership, it's $9.99, and it really, I'm gonna do more tarot courses, weekly tarot courses. We're gonna talk about tarot specifically, talk about astrology. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So if you want to sign up, click on the membership tab. Okay, so with the universe, death, and Knight of Pentacles. So I see it very strongly, and I've seen this for a bit, that he's trying to shed his image. He's constantly evolving, and that's the thing about Aquarius, Sun and Aquarius. I'm a fellow Sun and Aquarius. We're big on change, you know, and it's interesting because I feel like I either meet Aquarius that are very big on change. I'm one of those that, but I never used to be though, because I feel like I grew up moving a lot. So when I finally lived in a certain city, I lived in New York, I found it very difficult to leave because I was like, I grew up moving all the time, you know, and I didn't want to change. But I got out of that. I think in the past 6 years, I really got out of that energy of being stuck. And I think sometimes Aquarius, we can get so used to being stuck. As we get older, we just stay the same. So that's why it's important that we force ourselves to change. And he sees that about himself. He sees that if he doesn't change something, he's going to be unhappy, you know. And all fixed signs, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, and what's the last? Leo. You need to force yourself to change certain things, you know, because we're very fixed. We like to stay fixed. Routines, jobs, stuff like that. If you're not happy, if you don't feel content, don't overthink the worst possibility of it not working out. Think about the good, you know. Think about when things, you didn't have control over something, it changed and it ended up working out for you better. Stuff like that, and it will really help you. And he's doing that with himself. I even think leaving the relationship with Olivia was tough for him. I really do. But he did it anyway because he had to. Because he felt like she was stunting her growth, you know. And actually with relationships, I often, unless the person does something really nasty to me, I end up staying. That's why in the beginning I'm like very vigilant about who I end up in a relationship with. Because Aquarius were very, very loyal. And Olivia, it got to the point with her that he had to leave because of how she was treating him. So with King of Cups, he's definitely matured. He's grown, he's learned a lot. The bottom of the deck with Four of Swords in reverse. I don't think that he's completely cut off communication from her. Wow, I just saw that right now. Even though, and I've said this before, as a fellow Aquarius, I feel like I read him so well. Some of you have written in the comment section that I'm the best hairstylist, and I'm so grateful that you think that. It makes me so happy. Thank you. I think the reason why I can read him so well is because I'm a fellow Aquarius, and we're very, even though we're different to each other, there's certain things about Aquarius that is prominent in almost every one of us. And that is, once someone has betrayed us, it's very hard for us to be the same with them. Because we aren't, how do I say this? If you ever meet me in public, you'll often think that I'm very closed off and I'm very quiet, you know? But when you get to know me, or if I'm not doing something that I have to do in public, you'll see that I'm very fun, friendly, you know, but only a few people really see that side about me. And that's the same thing with him. And once we open ourselves up to people and show them that side, if it's not professional, because you know, professionally you have to be like that sometimes. If you're close to us and we show you that side and you betray us, you're not going to get the same version of us anymore. So even though they're talking, I think he's very closed off. He's very like, one word answer. She might be like, oh, what are you doing today? And he's like, you know, so forth and so forth. And I know people were like, no, they're not talking. I strongly believe they're still talking. I strongly believe she's trying to kind of lure him back in, but he's already seen, you know, he's already seen, and I believe his Mercury's in Capricorn, which is, he's very, once he's decided, he's just like, that's it, it's over. So Temperance, Six of Pentacles, and the Empress. I see very strongly here that he's already on to somebody else. It could be that Taylor Russell, but I don't see him with somebody younger. Harry needs somebody older. I wouldn't say Olivia's age, but I say somebody 5 to 6 years older than he is, because he likes older. He really does. I feel like the people he has long-term relationships with are often older. So 9 of Swords and 10 of Pentacles. I see him building something, and I see building a house. I also saw him doing like fashion, like a fashion company. He's entering the phase in his life where he wants to be more stable. So I don't think he'll be touring as much. I don't think he'll be focusing on music. I have said this before. If you look at Justin Timberlake's career, it mimics a lot of what naturally. I don't think Harry's copying Justin Timberlake, but watch Justin Timberlake's career and then look at what Harry's career will be the next 2-3 years. He's going to be more acting, touring less. If he tours, it's going to be like once every 2 years, not touring as much, because it takes a physical toll on the body. And Aquarius, we're very good at seeing that, you know, like if something isn't good for us, we're good at like foreseeing and compartmentalizing. They're like, okay, this is not going to be good for me in the future. What can I do next, you know? And that's why he's going to get into acting, fashion, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so I'm really excited for him. So let's move on. Please like the video if you liked my reading on that. Moving on to Zayn update. Really excited to be doing this. I feel like I haven't done one in a while. And Zayn is I feel like he's got such a sweetness about him. You know, I didn't watch the full interview. I just watched clips of it, excuse me, snippets. I meant to say snippets of it. I ended up saying snippets and clips together. But I just watched a few snippets of it, and I strongly see an innocence about him. You know, I said that he's growing, he's maturing, and he's getting to know himself. There's a big trend of a lot of celebrities going sober. I think COVID might have a huge influence on that. You know, it rapidly transformed our lives. It either propelled us in the direction of light work or propelled us in the direction of embracing our shadow side. So let's see, I'm using the Star Chart Tarot for this. Let's see what the update is and what's coming forward for Zayn Malik. Okay, so I see sweet times with his daughter, very sweet times. I've always said this, and I strongly believe this, that he and Gigi will end up together. Doesn't mean that you have to be a crazy fan and be obsessed about it. Just let it unfold, you know. I see, wow, 6 of Swords, and 1 to do with Crystal. So he still feels betrayed by Yolanda. He still feels betrayed about this whole situation, but he's more like just taking a step back. And like he said, I predicted that too. He forgave more for his family than he did for himself, because I think a part of him is still angry. 10 of Swords. A part of him is still angry and is still like, you know, but he's taking the high route. So the Sun, the boss, and the Deck. He's taking the high route. He's like, one day everything's going to be fine. It made sense for a reason. It made sense for a reason. Like, it happened for a reason. It made sense, you know, so forth. And he's like, I have to be the man. And the men, I think his dad is like that. I get very good energy from his dad. So he's just like, you know what, I I had to take the high road. I had to do what I had to do. I had to be the man of the family, you know. And he has this idea that men need to be the strong one and need to be the one that steps up to the plate. So that's why he was like, you know what, I'm going to walk the talk. I'm going to step up to the plate. I'm not going to be involved in gossip. I'm not going to be involved in drama. I'm really going to do what a man does and take charge. And in his taking charge, I think it really served him. So with Six of Cups, Six of Wands, the Lovers, like I said before, I strongly see him, I'm telling you, not soon, but in time, they will get back together. Because she's going to see, Gigi is going to see that, like, wow, he's really making the effort. And I think when they were in a relationship together, he didn't, because he was still young. You know, sometimes people need, that's happened actually a lot of the time with me and my exes. It's unfortunate because I never go back, you know. I've gone back once to an ex and I'll never do it again. But it's sometimes people really need you to leave them to see that it's time to change and that you really will find something else, you know. You really will be okay by yourself in order to really change. And that's the case with him, you know. And yeah, that's just what I see very strongly, is that when she left, he was like, okay, I really need to do something. I really need to be a better person, grow up, you know. I had an ex actually reach out to me recently and said, when you left, I realized that I screwed up. You know, until then I felt like everything was fine. You'd always stick around. You were constantly loyal to me, which is unfortunate because some people take loyalty for granted. But you can't look at it like that, as much as it sucks. Sometimes it takes you leaving for somebody to grow up. So with the Empress and Knight of Cups, they're going to get closer, little by little get closer. But his heart is for her. Is for Gigi. So that's what I have for you all. And please, I would highly encourage all the Zayn fans to just wish him well. Don't tell him what to do, how to live his life. If he wants to get back with Gigi, let him. I think so much of life we judge people, and you know, we only get one life, and we might as well make the most of it. And constantly judging how somebody lives their life, that's not love. Just embrace it. And he's grown immensely, and just allow him to live his life, you know. With all the love you have for him, wish him well. So yeah, that's what I have for you. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.